This is a sermon for May 24th, 2020. I'd like to read from 1 Peter 4 and 5. My dear friends, do not be taken aback at the testing by fire which is taking place among you, as though something strange were happening to you. But insofar as you share in the sufferings of Christ, be glad, so that you may enjoy a much greater gladness when Christ's glory is revealed. If you are insulted for bearing Christ's name, blessed are you, for on you rests the Spirit of God, the Spirit of glory. And from chapter 5. Bow down then before the power of God now, so that he may raise you up in due time. Unload all your burdens onto God, since God is concerned about you. Keep sober and alert, because your enemy, the spirit of this age, is on the prowl like a roaring lion, looking for someone to devour. Stand up to evil, strong in faith, and in the knowledge that is the same kind of suffering that the community of faith throughout the world is undergoing. You will have to suffer only for a little while. The God of all grace will restore you. Christ will confirm, strengthen, and support you. Amen. So I want to look at three things in this passage. The first one is the idea, do not be taken aback at the testing by fire. Don't be surprised or even shocked by great difficulty. It is common. Everyone, I want to say everyone, who is attached to an outcome suffers. You expect and you get something else. So you expect one thing and you get something different. Imagine if you go to the store, you buy something, you get home, you find out it's not at all what you bought. That would be some suffering. Americans are attached to no suffering. Americans generally are attached to pleasure. We expect to be able to eat out at restaurants. We expect to have sports and to go to sporting events. We expect to be entertained as Americans. It's a far cry from the Christians that Peter is referring to, who are suffering for being Christians, suffering for their faith. They were either fired from their jobs, they were kicked out of homes, kicked out of synagogues, they were kicked out of all kinds of things, and they were sometimes even tortured for their faith. So, in a much smaller way, I was attached last week to going kayaking with my husband at Carroll Creek. And on my way down there to meet him, my car stopped running. And I can tell you that I was attached to the idea of my car running just fine. When I finally talked to Mickey at the car repair place, he said, yeah, nobody expects their car to stop running, but they do. He's got a great sense of humor. So, looking at this, do not be taken aback at the testing that you encounter. I want to talk about a couple of things in the idea that you shouldn't be taken aback by being attached to things and not getting them. So, one idea is to let things arise, accept things as they are, and then move to change what you can. So eventually my car was at the car repair place, and I was willing then to change what needed to be changed. The idea is that if you are not taken aback by being tested, then you can be peaceful rather than angry. I was struggling with anger and tension and frustration at not getting to do my plans. So view all problems as challenges. So this is something I was not considering. I was just angry. But if you view all problems as challenges, then you can welcome each problem as an invitation to grow. And I'm really trying to learn that. It's all grist for the mill. And I had to look up that phrase. Grist was grain that was going to be ground into flour. And so it was all for the good. It was all for profit. Everything can lead us to grow. Everything can lead us to grow. So don't frantically run away from your problems, which I was trying to do. Instead, welcome them, which I am learning to do. I know one other thing is my printer had ink in it, and the ink wasn't working, and a brand new cartridge I have to replace. It will not do anything. It will not even scan something, which involves no ink and no paper without new ink. So again, my frustration. So do not be taken aback by testing. Don't be surprised or shocked by the tests that come your way. All right, the second thing I want to look at in this 1 Peter passage is the idea of bow low before the power of God. Unload all of your burdens. You can receive grace. You can be restored, confirmed, and strengthened by Christ. So under this idea of bow low before God is the idea of don't strain or try to force things, because are you God? You know, you're not in control. And so don't strain, don't try to force things. Instead, bowing low and unloading burdens on God is what we're invited to do. No need to be aggressive. No need to be in a hurry. Take your time. Again, we're not God. So any growth that is valuable takes time, takes patience. And a teacher I know said, patience, patience, patience. Bow low, unburden yourself on God. And also be gentle with yourself as part of bowing low. Be kind to yourself. Bow low before the power of God and unburden yourself. You know, it's been said you may not be perfect, but you are all that you have to work with. Again, bow low and unburden yourself before God. And the third thing I want to look at from this passage is to stand up to evil. Be strong in faith. Be sober and alert. The spirit of this age is prowling about, looking to devour you. I smiled when I read that because the spirit of the age is just all around us. And it is prowling about like a lion looking to devour us. How many people today, with the struggles and strains of the pandemic, of being sheltering in place, all of that, are being devoured by the spirit of the age? Even I've struggled with it. Try not to be making comparisons all the time is one of the things I want to look at in terms of standing up to evil and being strong in the faith. When we make comparisons, we're checking to see, a man might say, I'm better looking than he is. A woman might say, I earn more than she does. And we as a family or as a community might say, we have it more together than they do, whatever it is. Those comparisons are not a way to be strong, to stand up to evil, and to be strong in the faith, to be sober and alert. Instead, those making comparisons feed right in to ego. And egotism, remember, it's all about me. It's all about me, mine, my, whatever. It's egotism. And egotism leads to greed, pride, jealousy, envy, or hatred. And so when we do those comparisons, you know, I'm better than, I'm worse than, we're better than, we're worse than, whatever it is, it's egotism. It's all about me. So instead, be on guard against the spirit of this age, or you will get devoured. Instead, look for similarities. Look for kinship, which is a wonderful word. We have this in common. We have that in common. We're Christians. We're Christians together. We share Christ together. And maybe I need to help other Christians or simply other people to have enough food during the pandemic. Maybe I need to listen to someone talk about their problems to be able to vent. Maybe I need to reach out and help someone else. Try not to assume also that what you've always believed is right. So this is another way of being strong, standing up to evil, being strong in the faith, being sober and alert. Try not to assume that what you've always believed is 100% right. Some people believe that the disappearance of wild areas in the world is what's causing pandemics, what's causing the viruses to jump from animals to humans and then rapidly from human to human. Some people don't agree with that. Look at the evidence and consider it, and maybe consider that you have an open mind for things. Try not to assume that what you've always believed is 100% right. Investigate. Have an open mind. Consider another viewpoint. And then check to see if what you're learning bears up to experience. Of course, sometimes we have to take science, the best science, at its word. But in our prayer lives and in our community life, we can be open to new ideas and to consider things we perhaps have not considered before. So we do learn a lot by living, by listening, by exploring, by considering, and by taking time. What do they need? What do I need? You don't need to have everything figured out. Bow low to God's power. Receive grace. Unburden yourself to God. Spend time in prayer. Let silence happen in God's presence. And so these ideas are: don't be taken aback by the testing. Bow low before God. Unload all of your burdens. Receive grace. Be restored, confirmed, strengthened. And then lastly, stand up to evil. Stand up to what is wrong. Be strong in faith. Be sober and alert. The spirit of this age is prowling about, looking to devour. May we grow strong in our faith. Amen.